Evening. Welcome to another edition of Neighborhood News, Tuesday night.
Yes, it's Tuesday night and we're back for one more show of the Neighborhood News. Every Tuesday, 7 o'clock at night, channel 95. And again, if you're watching us and it's not a Tuesday night, you're watching a repeat show. So come back to us next Tuesday at 7 o'clock here on channel 95. Sejam bem-vindos a mais programa da sua Notícias da sua vizinhança. Hoje nós estamos de volta com mais programa para si. É terça-feira, 7 horas da noite. Se está-nos a escutar e não é terça-feira, está a ver programa que é repetido. Nós estaremos de volta na próxima terça-feira às 7 horas da noite, aqui neste mesmo canal 95. John.
It's all right. It's been a long day.
It's been a long day, and it's not over.
It's not over yet.
It's not over yet.
Yeah.
But last week we had a very interesting show.
Yeah. On the solar power.
On the solar panels. Yep. and giving a lot of information. One of the things we had to wrap up the show so quick that we didn't mention the name. I guess name and his phone number. So, sure. John, if you want to do it now.
Sure. His name is Artie Leonard, and the phone number is 508-441-0921. So it was.
So if you have questions, and if you didn't watch the show and you have questions about solar panels and the system and costs and all of that. Look for our show from last week, either on Facebook or YouTube, and you'll be happy that you did. And John, was a good.
Yeah, no, it was interesting. It was interesting. I kind of knew, how it would work on my house, but it is interesting to hear, as a reminder what it
exactly.
how it works.
And
so.
It's free if you want to call them and have an idea.
Yeah, they can run the numbers for you, show you what credits.
And you can run the numbers, see how your house is selling and how much your house or your roof could produce. It's always good to find out, at least to have an information on it.
Excellent.
John, Niagara. What's going on in Niagara?
Actually, I was speaking to Helen today, who's our vice president, and actually, what's going on is we got 15 new banners, so we're going to have a total of 45 banners around the neighborhood. So there are going to be a few going up on Brayton Avenue on the side streets, one on Pelham, and a few on Warren, and then a few on Rodman Street. So, so you'll probably see them more now because there's 45 of them around the area, but we're just trying to put them really, the majority of them on the perimeter of the neighborhood, so people know. So, but yeah, we've got a lot of compliments on the flag, and we were lucky. The first 30 were donated by a local company, so and they were anonymous. So that was great. Thanks to whoever did that, and we got the grant like you did, the $2,000 Love Your Neighborhood grant, I guess.
Yes.
And we used that money to buy 15 of the banners, along with having like a family day at the park. So, so yeah, it's.
So the grant that we got, the inauguration is going to be on the 29th. Probably by the time that the show is on, it's already gone. But on the 29th, we're going to reveal the Quikasham tot lot.
Okay.
We're going to do the opening of the park again, the cutting of the ribbon.
So like a dedication day kind of thing? Okay.
Exactly, cool. Because that park was dedicated years ago to Katia San.
Yeah.
But the name was never placed there. Now we had made a sign with her name, and
cool.
So the mayor is inviting the public to the inauguration in our behalf. Yeah. And I think it's going to be nice because if you drive by there, you see how many kids still use that park, and those poor conditions that
Yeah.
was there. You know, it was no nets in there. Now you have volleyball net. We have the basketball court. We have the playground. We have a couple of new toys on the playground.
Good.
The fence, it's all painted,
Painted, yep,
nice.
looks
no more rust. And we put the yellow garden, the plastic to cover
Oh, okay.
the top of the fence too.
Cool.
There, so it's a brand new park.
Yeah. Excellent. Excellent.
Our $2,000 went fast. So that, with the help of the city, they just pretty much did a good job there. They had to get involved, and I asked again, Ken Pacheco
Oh, yeah.
and his good team to give me a hand there and to get it done, because we went over the $2,000 and we had no more money to spend there. But with the help of the city,
Yeah.
everything came together, and now it's one more park that's
Done.
That's
Yeah.
done.
Yeah. Excellent. Excellent. Yeah.
With Father Travassos, the update is, I believe in November they're starting construction.
Oh, wow.
And
Excellent.
they're going to be done in March.
You mean the whole bike path will be done in March?
Yes, the whole park's going to be done.
Oh, the park. Okay.
park,
Okay.
yes.
Okay.
The park's going to be done. Inside the park, the bike path's going to be done.
Okay.
Now we're just going to wait for phase 4.
Okay.
Phase 4 is the bike path behind the police station, Britton Park, that's going to connect to Father Travassos.
Okay.
But that's the plan 4. We are on a plan 3 now,
Okay.
which includes the
The playground and
Father
is,
Travassos.
is that still the sprays like they have up in Boston? You know, include the water sprays?
Yes,
Part of that?
yes.
Okay, so that'll be good. It'll be ready for next summer then.
Yes,
Excellent.
next spring will be the park will be done by spring, and according to Ken Pacheco, the water playground's gonna work June, July, and August, the 3 summer months.
Excellent. Good. It's good.
I'm pretty sure that's gonna attract a lot of kids
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
down to the park. But we have a lot of other attractions there.
Yeah. Cool.
One of the attractions we're going to have there is the deck hockey, which I'm very happy because the city of Fall River don't have one.
Yeah.
And now Father Travassos will have the only one.
Wow.
And we, believe it or not, Fall River has 2, I believe, I could be wrong, but I believe Fall River has 2 teams which plays outside the city.
Okay.
So that would be good, because now we could have tournaments and the other teams will come to Fall River.
Yeah. Excellent.
And according to Bernadette, which the secretary of my neighborhood association, she has 2 kids that plays.
Okay.
And she says that when she goes and she has tournaments, it's like 3 games in one day.
Yeah.
She spends the whole day at the city,
Wow.
where she or town where
Yeah.
she goes play, and she has to grab food and everything. She has to spend. So that's good, because it's a short walk up into Pleasant Street, where you have now restaurants and stores and all of that,
Yeah,
for
excellent.
those families that are coming with the kids from outside the city to play in Fall River. So
Yeah, good. Great.
it's good news.
Yeah, great. So when's the projected date of the bike path completion? Is that also
Like I said, the bike path inside the park will be complete with the park.
Yeah. Okay.
Now, the phase 4 is the one that keeps going behind the police station.
Yeah.
That's the second. That's the plan 4.
Okay. All right. So, but they don't have a set, because I heard 2016 was the last.
Yes, they have
okay.
the whole
thing done.
through the city,
Okay.
the whole city,
cool.
everything done. It's by the 16th.
Yeah.
But what they're doing in phases.
Phases, yeah.
And what the governor saw was, we're going to have to run the bike path through this park. So here's a good opportunity for us to locate a little bit of money
Yeah.
and have it done.
Yeah.
And so this way we
And it's a good idea. I think because you're going to have a lot of people either walking, riding bikes, or running down there. So you're going to have constant traffic going
Yes.
between the parks. So, and that's, you
And,
know,
and then we're going to add it into the program, which they took out of my, my plans, with the Vets Memorial. And the Vets Memorial, we're going to put it on the upsides on Alden Street.
oh, okay.
So if you come through the steps into the park by right next to Espírito Santo's
Yeah, I know what you
school,
mean. Yep.
you have an entry to the park that with the steps to come down to the park. So the Veteran Memorial is going to be on that side, and the design is pretty much how we have the monument in front of the police station, where you will have some bench people can sit.
That's cool.
So will be located on the center, so this way people have to go through the monument. So if you go into the steps, you will walk through the monument to go down the steps.
Oh, that'd be
But
nice.
this is something that we neighborhoods gonna raise the money to have it done. I have already a couple companies that want to sponsor
Yeah.
that, because they are very everything it's vets, you know, they're very dedicated
Cool.
to vets.
Yeah.
And so when I approached them, they said, definitely we want to have
Help
that
out.
done for
Yeah.
them.
Oh,
So
that's great. That's great. And you know, leading to that, the tree planting committee had set up a veterans memorial on North Park, and a lot of that stuff was donated by local contractors. So that's another good reason to, you know, shop here in Fall River and, you know, get folks that are working here in their businesses, because they're helping this community out immensely with all these things they do like that, and people don't know about that stuff.
people don't know. People don't know how these things, the business, how much the business help neighborhoods.
Yep.
It's unbelievable. And last year, and things sometimes happens, you know, like last year, Harvest Festival.
Yeah,
For 2 months, I asked for pumpkins.
yeah,
Paul Schmidt, thank you. He was my God, because he knows a lot of farms, and
Yeah.
you know, he provided me a lot of pumpkins. He bought some pumpkins to
Yeah.
bring it to me.
you're lucky he didn't have you go pick them.
Yeah. So what happened was, we are now on the day of the festival, and we're running out of pumpkins.
Wow.
And from, I don't know how they found out, but they found out, and I had boxes and boxes of a car dealership.
Oh, okay.
A car dealership
Wow.
right from Pleasant Street came in, and believe me, it's a very small dealership.
Yeah.
You walk in there, you have like 5, 6 cars, but I don't know if they have farms or whatever.
Yeah.
They bought me boxes and boxes. They bought me so many that after the festival, I had on the Monday morning, I had to donate them to the school on Eastern Avenue.
Yeah. Watson School. Yeah.
Watson School,
Cool.
which the kids were so happy,
Yeah.
and the teachers were so happy, because now we're going into
Yeah,
Halloween,
Halloween, yeah.
and the
Excellent.
kids have projects to do
Yeah.
for Halloween, and they got pumpkins and
Yeah,
everything.
excellent.
So, but that's, you know,
just
that's
the
what
story.
happens. That's
Yeah.
what happens when the business, how much the business help this community.
Yeah. No,
you
I
know.
agree. I
And
agree.
people never know the amount of
Yeah.
how much they spend
Yeah.
on the community,
No,
but
I
they
agree.
help a lot.
I agree. So, but yeah, so that's so it's interesting, and you also had your movie night.
I
at
had my
Lafayette
movie
Park.
night,
So-
and thank you, John. You were there helping me with
No problem.
with the hot dogs.
Yeah, it looked like it was pretty successful, right?
Yeah, it was, and again, the last one happened just because one bank donate the money to do it, and we went ahead and we did it.
And you know what? I'm going to say, Mario, I know you have helped Carlos in the past,
Yes.
So we got to give you the kudos there. So
Yeah, Mario, it's a good helper, and
yeah, he's a good kid, very good
he's
kid.
a good kid.
So
And usually we forget all the time to thank people that are good to us.
yeah.
And I have to say, and we always forget about C.J. Ferry.
Yeah.
C.J. Ferry's been a very good friend of ours.
Yeah.
He was the first one,
Yeah.
show one, he was there.
Yeah, to help us to get this
To
together.
help us. So if we're here today, we have to thank CJ.
Yeah, and still does shows.
And today he still puts our show online.
Yeah,
So
that's
and
great.
we always forget to thank people.
Yeah.
But that's
So,
us.
thanks.
It's my fault. That's John's fault.
Yeah, it's my fault. Sorry. Thanks, CJ.
Thank you,
Anyway.
CJ. So what else going on? What else you want to talk about?
I don't know.
I seem like Faust now. You know, what are we talking
Yeah, I
about
know.
today? Sense and nonsense. Over here, sometimes it's sense and nonsense.
Yeah,
but-
no, I agree. I don't know. There's a lot of stuff happening in the world, but there's just as much happening here in Fall River.
in Fall River. So let me ask you this.
Yeah.
We are 3 weeks into the recycling.
Yeah.
How you thinking about the program and how?
That's. I think the last I heard was, the first week was 65% compliance, and I believe now they're up to close to 70 to 75. And I think that's due basically to there are a lot of multifamily homes, and we do have a transient population here that probably do not know these rules, or they're refusing to follow these rules. But it's going to take time, and I think the city knew that. It's $1.25 a bag.
Yes.
I mean, I think tomorrow's my trash day. I have one bag in my, barrel. That's it.
It's been 3 weeks.
and
It's been 3 weeks. I just trashed one bag so far.
Yeah, mine is roughly a bag a week, which is $1.25. So how can you?
And what I've been reading and listening is people's getting the idea. People is saying, people is already in 2 weeks into the program.
Yeah.
They already say thank you because thanks to the bags I'm recycling.
Yeah.
And I know that's the best way to go. It's recycling.
Yeah.
I understand now, and I want to thank whoever make me recycle.
Yeah, and I was doing, and nothing's changed for me. I was only throwing one bag out a week anyway of trash. So it's the same for me. We always recycled, but I think it's to get other folks on board that it's just another routine. Instead of throwing that in the barrel, if it's a can or a plastic thing, you throw it in your sink, rinse it out, and then throw it in your recycle bin. That's all it is. It takes 5 seconds.
That show that we did, either the English or the Portuguese, been running non-stop on Channel 18.
Yeah, it's been on here. So no, it's good.
And people are learning a lot about. I mean, I have people approaching me, telling me, Carlos, I learned something with that show that. I was putting on the trash and it's recycling, or I was recycling and it's supposed to be trash. So it was a very good, educated show.
Yeah, I think it was a good show. I do. I agree. And you know what? You and I were doing it, and I'm not trying to pat us on the back. We were doing it the whole time. That's just, I gotten used to doing it when we got those small barrels. But I think, sometimes you have to give an incentive to do it, or a decentive, which means you're going to have to pay. I don't even know if that's a word, but you're going to have to pay if you don't do it, and people will do it at that point.
One thing that I love about the city, I don't care what people say. I love the city because people are not dumb. People are smart in the city. People know what to do and when to do. And people help each other. And people understand when we have a problem and we have to do something and why we have to do it. But we always have those that don't agree. But I always say, as long as we are respecting each other, it's fine to disagree.
Absolutely.
It's perfect fine to disagree. I respect people that disagreed with me, because we cannot all agree on everything. As long as we keep it clean, as long as we are respecting everybody, just because you don't agree with me, I'm not going to make fun of you. I'm not going to, you know, say things about you. You know, that's the thing. When you do, even if you're right, when you go down that path, you lose.
Well,
automatically.
I think with most people, and I'm on, if someone's yelling or raising their voice, you already lost me. Because now I'm just listening to that. I'm not even listening to you anymore. I turned everything off. So, and you know, I'm glad you brought that up, because this is not just a Fall River thing, it's a world thing. I think we have lost in the last 30 years the ability to compromise or to think about what the other side's thinking. It's all, you know, it's all about me. And I want this. I don't care if this is affecting you and it's hurting you. It's, I want this. It doesn't matter. And we all know, if you're in a relationship, you have family, it's not all about you. You have to look at this, and I think we got to try to get back to this somehow, to look at this as the city as a whole. How can we do good for the city as a whole? You know, and not just our,
and
you know.
It's good that you say that, because sometimes people are surprised how we are friends with people that don't agree with us. You know, some people are surprised how you talk to him if he don't agree with you. One thing don't have to do with the, nothing has to do with the other. We are friends and we disagreed in this, but we will agree next month in something else.
And you know, it's funny, because I've, you know, we all know the councilors. You know, we know the mayor. I mean, you know, with the councilors, I've told them I didn't agree with this. You know, but I'm not screaming at them. I'm just saying I didn't agree with this, and you know, you can agree to disagree. That's not going to change your mind.
And now that you talk about councilors, I have a lot of respect for Linda, a lot of respect. You know, she's a friend. I can call her a friend. She's a friend, and she was the only one that voted against having the carnival at Lafayette, which is fine. And I said that in front of her at City Council chamber. It's okay to disagree. I respect you, Linda, for telling no and give me a no vote, then say yes when she don't agree with it. You know, that's why I respect her, because she disagreed. She has all the right to disagree, and that's why I love you, Linda.
But no, and I think that's the truth. This is the problem, and this has been the problem that I think, you know, we got to look at, and I've heard numerous people say this. Dan Patello said this. I've said this myself years back. What do we want to do? We only have a limited income, like you have in your family. Everybody's family budget, you have a limited income. So do I want to buy a new car, or do I want to go on a trip somewhere? Or if I don't have the money to do either, then you buy a used car. You don't have a car at all. Where, you know, you have all these things coming at you in the city, and I understand everybody's going to fight for their own thing, whether it be education, fire, police, trash, you know, public works. I'm sorry, we're all coming at each other. But it's, what does everybody want? Everybody wants one thing. So I can imagine you're in politics here, and it's not a great time to be a politician. We all know that. You're being pulled in 20 different directions. And, you know, what does everybody want? And I wish we would probably have some kind of town meeting or town hall meeting and say, what's important? My feeling is, like many people, police, fire, education, and the trash. Those are the four most important things. They have to be, you know, budgeted. That has to be done. No getting around that. It has to be done. And, you know, until we finally decide what is important to us and are we willing to pay for these things. If we're not willing to pay for these things, we're going to have what we had 20 years ago. And I've been listening, you know, during the day at work, listening to the radio, and I've heard people talking about, well, this is not our fault. What the city is in you know, hot water now, because mayors prior did not raise taxes the way they should. You know why past didn't raise the taxes? Because of us.
Yeah.
We would scream and holler if taxes were raised more than
And we
one
will
year.
not vote for them.
Yeah,
and for them to get elected, they had to keep the tax.
And now I hear people saying that they're using that argument. It wasn't my fault that we're in this trouble because of a mayor, what they did before. No, we are the ones that voted folks in.
Yep.
They're listening to what you do and they hear. If you say you're going to raise taxes, they get upset. I mean, this is something I've heard even with the mayor. He's raised taxes every year. All right, well, where do we expect this revenue to come from? Where is it going to come from? So all these things cost money. We need to sit down and figure out, what do you want?
Yeah.
You know, what do we all want to make this city?
People need to realize that to run a city needs to be run like a business. I have a business. I cannot give next year prices of this year.
Yeah.
I cannot charge the same price for a job that I'm going to do next year, the money that I'm asking this year, because guess what? My expenses go up. So I have to raise prices. I don't want to raise prices, but I have to raise prices.
Yeah.
If I lose this client, I have to fund 2 more new clients.
Yeah.
You know, to replace that client. But that's how the city needs to be run.
Yeah.
And we are almost the end of the year. Nothing happens for nothing.
Yeah.
If a mayor got elected, it's because we elected him. Now we need to take the responsibility, okay, for our actions.
Yeah.
We cannot, you know, rip a shirt and then try to sew it back. You're going to sew it back, but you're going to see that the shirt was ripped.
Yeah.
Okay? So we need to be responsible for our actions. When you go out and vote, we need to know what we're doing.
Yeah.
Not then, well, oh, it's okay, because then I can reverse, you know, my way because I have rights. Yeah. You know, I have rights too. I didn't vote for that person, you know, and now you want me to change my vote. My vote's going to be the same that I did when I didn't vote for that person, right? So now you wait your turn to change. Well, when you need to be changed.
If anything of what's going on, there's always some good that comes out of something. I think the whole good that came out of this, the one good thing that came out of this.
People have rights?
No, that people are actually registering to vote. So maybe we will get more than 12,000 or 13,000 people that'll vote in an election. Maybe that'll be something, right? Which is what? That's roughly 20% of the population here that vote. And then what happens? We all complain later on. 20% of the people vote.
But this should not be the reason for them to register to vote.
Yeah. Well, no,
they have their rights.
They should have been doing it all along.
They should have been doing it for a long time.
I agree. I agree.
You know, they should have been doing it for a long time.
Yeah.
This should not be the reason. Because guess what? You're going to register to vote. You're going to vote because you want to show this vote, and you'll never vote again in your life.
Yeah. Well, I hope not.
Would that change?
Yeah. I hope people vote. I hope they would continue to vote. But you know.
John, like always, thank you.
Have a good night.
And see you guys next week. Thank you.
And say something nice about Fall River. I haven't said that in a while. I think we need that right now.
Viva Fall River.